Is there a difference between being religious and spiritual?
This is English or Turkish? Okay. Yes, there is a big difference. Because we're speaking in the English language, then there is a difference. If we're speaking in other languages, especially Islamic languages, then it is slightly different. Because now the English understanding of religion it is what? Religion means ritual. Okay? Ritual means you do an action. You may not understand that action, but you do that action over and over and over again. Sometimes people forget the meaning of that action. But you are doing it, and you're saying this is a practice, and this is my religion. I cannot change it. Religion now has so many actions, of course. And if we're talking Islamically, there are 800 forbidden actions in Islam, and 500 good actions that you should do. 800 actions you should stay away from, and 500 actions that you should do. But these actions, they have a meaning, and there's a reason. If you are not running to know the meaning and the reason for these actions, then it becomes just a ritual. Because you don't understand why you're doing it. You're just doing it. It becomes a routine. It becomes a robot. Robotic action. Mechanical action. Especially now if you belong to a religion that discourages you from asking questions. Don't ask. It's a mystery. Don't ask. Secret. Don't ask. Just accept. Who knows? That is not Islam. Because if you know, you will be able to explain. Don't you know that the prophets, they come? Allah is unknowable, isn't it? Isn't it? Can anyone claim that they know Allah? No, it's unknowable. But the prophets came to teach us about Allah, isn't it? The prophets are making us to know Allah. Someone unknowable to someone that we know. How they are doing it? Because they know Allah. And they know their community, their nations. Then that time, they can take something that is so high and they can take it in a language that is acceptable for everyone to make them to understand. And they always speak in a language that is simple. Simple language. They speak in parables, in allegories, in stories, simple language to make everyone to understand. Because the idea is not to make the people to look at them and say, wow, what a knowledgeable man this prophet is. Wow, what a smart person. No, no. The whole idea is like, I have to make you understand. Let me try it another way. Let me try it. Years they're spending. All their lives they're spending. They're not giving lecture. They don't use fancy words. They don't use fancy terms. They don't use intellectual words. No. To explain the Most High, Rabbul Ala, to us living in the Asfala Safilin, in the lowest, they're able to make you to understand something and to accept and to return to their Lord. Now, those ones who are following in their footsteps, They display the same characteristics. Because they know Allah. They will not tell you that is a mystery. Don't ask. Because they know Allah and they know you. Because they've gone through what you've gone through maybe 1,000 times more. And those are what we call awliya Allah, or the friends of Allah, or the saints in Islam. It's not because some people sitting somewhere say this one must be a saint, this one must be a saint. What is the criteria? Well, you pray through him and you get 3 miracles and saint. No. Awliya Allah is the one who knows Allah. And the saint who makes miracles, especially in our way, in the Naqshbandi way. If you make miracles, that is not something to be impressed with. That is not something that people should be jumping up and down to say, wow, look at this. He's making a miracle. Miracles, we see Shaykh Efendi making miracles all the time if you're with him. But that is not the biggest thing. That is not the most impressive thing. The most impressive thing is what the prophets they came. Because all those miracles that the prophets they made, it is not an end to itself. It is not just there just to make a miracle and that's it. What are all those miracles for? It is to change the heart of the man. Isn't it? And if the miracle doesn't change the heart of the man, that miracle, no matter how great it is still not effective. Isn't it? We see so many with the earlier nations. They're eating manna and salwa from the paradises. Is a miracle to give them more faith. And they're saying, where's the onions? And in today's language, they say, where's the gravy? Allah is sending food from paradise and they're saying, where's the gravy? This is true. They come to the Red Sea. They're following Musa alayhi salam. Now they come to the Red Sea and they say, oh, we should have never have followed you. Now we're going to die. We were going to go back to Firaun. At least we can get some gravy. So they start to turn back. Musa alayhi salam parted the sea so they can go. And they say, oh, okay, come on. They're running. It's true. They're running. And then they're running. Then they see Firaun's troops. They're also coming behind us. And they're saying, oh, they are so close to us. They're going to come and get us. This is not working either. We're going to go back. That's it. So they run. They wanted to run back. They reach to the shore. And Firaun's army is running through the sea to catch them. They say, we don't want this. We don't follow you anymore. Even if you show us so many miracles, it's not changing our hearts because it's filled with stubbornness. The grandchildren of the prophets, they are. It's still filled with arrogance and anger and jealousy. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the power to Musa alayhi salam, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and the sea closed on Firaun and his troops. This is a lesson for us. Don't think we are looking at them, we are looking at us. Because mankind has those same characteristics. We have the same arrogance and the stubbornness, anger and the jealousy that Allah is opening a way for us to come close to Him, offering us forgiveness and offering us blessings. And the next minute we turn against to Allah. Allah sending us help again. We say, thank you, Ya Rabbi. Then the next minute we turn against Him. Over and over again. These are not stories. These are situations for us to understand because we are going through it again and again. So, the awliya Allah, the purpose of the miracles of the prophets, it is to turn the hearts. So the whole idea is for the hearts to be turned. It is not because of miracles. But let me tell you something, especially in these days. If you are impressed and if your heart turns by miracle, by extraordinary, by supernatural means, then that means that what is going to make your heart to turn the other way, back, is when you see something more extraordinary. Isn't it? You're seeing something extraordinary by a friend of Allah. And Allah gives power to Dajjal to show something more extraordinary, you're going to follow Dajjal. That's what Dajjal is going to come to give. Allah is going to give him that power. That's why those who are impressed with all of that, when Dajjal is coming, they're going to say, this is very impressive. And he's going to give power to so many too. Are we understanding? Who is speaking about such matters? No. Because they're interested in those things too. So, the purpose of religion, when we talk about religion, that's why I said this English language is not really adequate, because in Islam too, deen. Deen is not just religion, it means a lifestyle, a way. And it combines both the religion and the spirituality. And religion, yes, you need the rituals. The rituals are there. But even in English language, when we say something ritual, it means yes, doesn't have too much meaning, isn't it? It means something that you do again and again. You cannot find this kind of word that is empty of its real meaning so much in Islamic languages, because it is still there. And when we talk about in Islam, the religion of Islam, now we understand that you cannot take out spirituality from the religion. And the spirituality is what the prophets, they came to make the people to understand. First, prophets and awliya Allah, the saints of Allah, the friends of Allah, they make the communities to understand before they give them ritual. It is not the other way around. Holy Prophet ﷺ spent 23 years before he completed the Shariat. In the beginning, he was not even telling them to pray. But he was praying, and those whose hearts are with him, they say, let me do what he is doing. Later when he says, okay, now pray, as you see me pray. So many other things. In the beginning, he's not even telling them, stop from drinking. Ayat coming saying, drinking more bad than there are benefits. Then other ayats coming, other slowly is becoming more clear and more strict. Finally, the order came to say drinking liquor, it is haram. Then that time slowly they've come to that level of understanding, and they take it, and that ritual now of not drinking, it comes with an understanding. Now this understanding can only come with spirituality. This understanding can only come with those ones who are the friends of Allah, that they can explain and they can invite and they can show, and Allah will turn their hearts to make them to understand this. This is spirituality. Spirituality puts the spirit into the ritual. Now, because in Islam, the hadith of Jibreel alayhi salam, Islam, Iman and Ihsan. The religion is divided to Islam, Iman and Ihsan. Islam, Iman and Ihsan. Iman, Ihsan and Islam. Iman is faith. What is faith? 7. Amantu billah. Isn't it? I believe in Allah. Amantu billahi wal malaikatihi wa kutubihi. I believe in Allah. I believe in His angels. I believe in the prophets. I believe in the books. Now, the belief, that is Iman. Islam. Now it comes the actions. To say shahadat, to pray 5 times a day, to fast 1 month in the Ramadan, to give zakat and to go to the Hajj. Now these are actions that support the faith of Allah, His angels, the prophets, the books, the taqdeer, everything. Now comes the third part, and this is the third part, which is spirituality. Ihsan, meaning what? What is ihsan? What is ihsan? The meaning? Arab. What is the meaning? Ihsan. Literal meaning of ihsan. You don't know. It is to be excellent through sincerity. To have the highest station through sincerity. And that is spirituality, and that spirituality, that ihsan, it is to worship Allah as if you see Him. And if you do not see Him, that He is seeing you. Now, if you believe Allah is seeing you, and if you believe that when He is seeing you, whatever that you're doing is worship, now can you divide now that time between ritual and non-ritual? Between religion and life? No, you cannot. Because now Allah is always watching you. Now your life becomes a worship. Every action that you do becomes a worship. Because every action that you do, the understanding of worship is to know that Allah is watching you. And you know that you are being watched by Allah. So every action that you do, this is what is called in Islam, taqwa, or God consciousness. You are conscious that Allah, you are drinking, you cannot say now there is no Allah, there's no ritual, there's nothing to do with religion, I'm just drinking. No, Allah is watching you drinking. And Allah is showing what is the best drinks for you to drink, what is the best way for you to drink, how to drink, and is showing us through the examples of the prophets and the saints. So now every action, even if it is called a mundane action, an action that is an everyday, normal action, but if you put that taqwa, that God consciousness inside of it, this becomes a worship, because you're going to pick it up and you're going to be conscious Allah is looking at you, and you're going to pick it up to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and you're going to drink Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. You're remembering your Lord. That action, that ritual becomes a worship. It's filled with spirit. That's the time when your spirituality, your spirit will overcome the physicality. And that is a time Allah will draw you closer to Him. Because that is a time when you will use your hands for the sake of Allah. You use your eyes for the sake of Allah. You will hear for the sake of Allah. You'll speak for the sake of Allah. Allah is saying in the Hadith Qudsi, my servant becomes beloved to me when he fulfills the obligation. But he comes closer to me when he does what? The sunnahs. Meaning what the prophets they're doing. That is not obligation. It is not obligation. It is extra. It is sunnat. It is what Prophet is doing. Then Allah is saying, I will bring him close to me. So close that I will be his hands that he touches. I will be his tongue that he speaks. I will be his eyes that he sees. I will be his ear that he hears. I will be his feet that he walks. And whatever he asks, I will give. Because he has disappeared into my ocean. And I will give him the power, lordly power. That when he asks, I will give. Cannot say the other thing too much now. When he asks, when he wishes, it will be. That is spirituality. You cannot reach this by yourself. You cannot become a doctor without going to school, without training under doctors. You cannot become a spiritual person going on your own way. You cannot. There's never been the way. You will get lost. You will get damaged. You follow a guide, you follow a teacher, you follow his established school, you follow his strong teachings, that much that you're able to disappear into his oceans, he'll bring you, yes, that time, to the presence of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. You're asking me, do I want to be in the presence of the Holy Prophet ﷺ? I say no. So many, if you want to make lies and slander and misinterpret my words, feel free. Saying, Lokman, he says he doesn't want to be in the presence of the Prophet. I'm saying, because I know myself, and I know that I don't deserve to be in the presence of the Prophet. I know myself with the wrong things that I've done, that I'm still doing. Allah knows, I know, that I don't deserve, I cannot be in the presence of such holiness. First time I met Shaykh Efendi, I was shaking. First time I met Shaykh Mawlana, I was shaking. I just wanted to just rush out and just hit my head against the wall. Because you realize yourself and you realize your ego. But that's just me. So, it is enough now in the presence of my Shaykh. Wherever he wants to take me, if he wants to take me, I will be behind him or under his feet. There's more protection that way. But I don't want to leave his presence, dunya or akhirat. Dunya physically has left us, but his spirit is very strong here, and he's not leaving us, alhamdulillah, as much as we are not leaving him. And that time, inshallah, wherever he wants to go, as he likes. But I just want to be with him. That's it. So, anyone who wants to be with us, we are connecting ourselves to Shaykh Efendi. And this is something that I want to add to what I spoke about earlier. Connecting ourselves to Shaykh Efendi is bringing us all the way to Shaykh Mawlana. No one else. So, inshallah Rahman, we understand what it is that we are being sent here. Because now spirituality, it is not something that is an option, that is just for people if they have nothing better to do than to think. This invitation is open to 7 billion people in the world right now. But those who are ready and those who answer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will speed up their process to bring him closer to him. Inshallah. One other thing that I want to add